Welcome back to another episode of the Trainer Gallery podcast, and we got another absolutely banging guest today, TheBulbaStore. Dude, thank you for coming on. How you doing today, man?
No, thanks for having me. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show as well. I'm excited.
Dude, we're over here collecting Infinity Stones right now. It's Cool Trainer Ryan, PokeRev, PokeNE, and now TheBulbaStore.
Yeah. I mean, when they pay me six figures to be on here, that can't say no.
Dude, how, like, just to get right into it. Well, for anybody that doesn't know, TheBulbaStore, I'm sure everybody's seen your shirts before. You got the nice green shirts that everybody's wearing at every single convention and stuff. But then on top of that, I mean, you were the one that really, I feel like, launched this whole vending videos in the Pokemon, or even in just the TCG world. Like, did you know it was going to take off like that?
I didn't. Excuse me, I'll be coughing a lot. But I didn't know it would take off like that. But I had an idea just because I knew it was the kind of content I wanted to watch, and it wasn't like really out there. It's not something that like you could type in and regularly watch. So I know personally, I really liked it. So that's kind of why I did it. I didn't know, like, I knew it'd be enjoyable content, but I didn't know how like well it would catch on and all that. But at the end of the day, it was because I was doing the shows anyways, so it wasn't too much of a barrier to entry. It was just clicking record, and then the worst thing that could happen is nobody likes it and I could stop. And then the best case is honestly what happened. If I don't think it could have gone any better.
How long have you been vending for? Oh, sorry.
I've been vending at shows, I believe, for 2 years now. 2 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. To see like how fast, because I've seen you at shows and the crowds you're pulling. Did you notice that when the views started going crazy on the YouTube and stuff? Did you start pulling crazier crowds at the shows?
Yeah, you could even see it in like the evolution of my videos. Like my very beginning of the videos, they were, I don't remember how long they were, but they weren't as long, and then the deals were a lot longer because I had to like kind of fluff it up, show the longer interactions to get the same videos. Now there's so many interactions, they're pretty much all kind of cut short. I just try to get the meat of the deal and then go on to the next person to try and get everyone that comes by. But it definitely picked up. I noticed for sure the very first time I ever had like a line, like people even waited, was Orlando Collecticon last year. And that was the same video where I like sold my Black Label ponchos. But that was the first time people were like waiting in line
to
do anything. But of course, it just gradually, I would say after that, it's kind of, I mean, when you're doing nonstop deals, it doesn't really matter if there's one person in line or 100 people in line, you're still just doing nonstop. So I would say ever since like, for like the past year or so, it's still been nonstop deals, which is great. It gets hectic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It definitely grows. And I would say the YouTube is like the big reason for that.
What's the appeal for you to that type of content?
For me, I say this a lot, but I grew up watching Pawn Stars.
Nice.
So I've always been very kind of entrepreneurial. And then when I grew up, I used to buy and sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards with my friends. So,
nice.
Buying and selling. And I have done all kinds of businesses, like so many throughout my childhood, college, and all that. I just really like business, like flipping and like storage wars, or just buying and selling things, cool items that, not everyone can see. So that was kind of my goal. That's why if you like see my videos, every video I do, I try to get like a thumbnail deal in where it's like this is something like maybe a little unique or not a average day deal that goes on. So whenever those come by my booth, even if I don't even make money on it, I will just do it because it's a little more unique or entertaining or like a good thumbnail. But yeah, I've just always been a very Pawn Star-y kind of guy. So I kind of wanted to replicate that in a Pokemon style.
That's awesome. That is really cool.
Are you filming constantly? Like every event, every vending event?
Every vending event I go, I actually just went to, I I like buying more than I like selling. So I've been trying to do a lot of like the buyer POV where I go walk around and do stuff.
Oh, cool.
Because I never get time to leave the booth. But when I'm actually vending, vendor POV is probably the hardest content to create out of all the Pokemon content, because you have to record. Well, I do. You record the entire like 10-hour day. Then you have to go through all 10 hours, rewatch it, and then like re-clip it all into a 30-minute thing. Then you have to add every single photo, every single price. It's literally, you can't like use AI. People are like, oh, just use AI for it. You can't. Sometimes the audio sucks because there's like background noise and all that. It's completely different than say like recording in a room and you're doing like any kind of video where the audio is super clear. You already know what you're talking about. So there's not like extra, I would say 90% of the, maybe not 90, but like, most of the footage we use doesn't even get shown, but it's still recorded and it's still a lot of work. So it's quite hard to get into, but I think it's very rewarding because it's unique.
How long does it typically take you to edit a video from your like vending over a weekend or something like that?
So I would say it depends on the show, but like for a big Collecticon for one day, because I used to do the whole weekend. The whole weekend was one video, and then it got so hectic I split into two. I was thinking about doing 3, but it's just I'll get so behind on the others. So I split it up into 2 days. I try to get 30 minutes now, and even then I'll have excess. There was one video we did where we got to 30 minutes and there were still hours of footage left. I was like, sorry guys. But it would probably, I don't edit either anymore. I used to edit my own videos. Okay. Now I have my brother edit for me. But it would say when I edited my videos, it would take, I would say about like 25 working hours.
Jesus
so
Christ.
I remember, I pumped out. Like I woke up early, went to sleep late, and I finished a video in 2 days. That was like the fastest I've ever done. But when I before I got my brother, there was like I'm still not that great. I've been doing better now, doing one video a week, but sometimes it would be like one video a month, because that'd be maybe doing back-to-back shows with a lot of selling, story sales, and then there's just not a lot of time to edit and all that. So it's very, very intensive to edit those.
With all the like selling and stuff you're doing at the conventions, are you always like super up to date with the prices on everything? Because the reason I ask, like when I go to the shows now, I'm always pulling out the collector app because I like to check the prices on everything going on. And also the new thing that we were looking at this last week, but they have like this set analytics, like a new feature where you can go in and actually see how an entire set is either going up or down.
It's pretty cool.
But like as a vendor, I don't know, like how often are you looking at the prices of everything moving?
Yeah, so I would say it's kind of in the best interest of the seller to get as much money as possible. So I try to personally always sticker things the Friday before a show. And that's because I don't want to, I would say it's a different dynamic for me because there's so many people. I have to have the prices there and then like work with what I got. I can't be looking up the price every single deal for like every single card. It would take too long. But so I price it every single night, Friday before the show. It usually takes about 4 or 5 hours to reprice, resticker, and like look up and research everything. But there's a lot of like, I would say most vendors don't even sticker their stuff, or if they do, they sticker it super high just so they are never selling low. And then if they're, if someone's because most of the time they're not going to get that many people. So when someone actually comes up, they have time to look it up, work the deal, take their time on a case by case. So most people don't even, they save the time and they just leave it out, or they just like super sticker high. Someone wants to negotiate, great. If not, it's already there.
How much time does that take you to go through and like sticker everything?
Yeah, it takes like 4 or 5 hours. I kind of enjoy it because you get to see, like, especially in this market, everything's going up. So you're like, oh, this went up, this went up, this went up. That's pretty cool. But there's times like, I think it was last year. I mean, there have been multiple ups and downs, but like with modern or tag teams or like Japanese, where every time I'm restickering, the price is dropping, and it's like, oh, I lost money on this one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it should on average, like some stuff goes up, stuff goes down, so it kind of balances out. Recently though, it's just been whoop, everything for the most part going up.
What are your thoughts on the extreme market increase recently?
Extreme market increase for in general, or like for the niche stuff, like the
in general
end? I would say in general, it's just because it's more popular. Like there's just more people it's into it now. Like objectively, there's just more collectors. So the random Joe Schmo just trying to get their new cards, their 151 set or something, there's just more of them. But I would say for the super high end or super rare cards, those are going up partially because some things are kind of being inflated, but also because I think a lot of people are realizing just how rare and like hard to grade some of these PSA 10s, let's say, are. And if there's something that's pop, I personally don't think the population's worth mentioning unless it's like in the 30s. But it kind of depends on what the actual card is. So if it's a really popular card in the 30s, then like let's say there's 60 people that want it and it doubled, then it's gonna, I mean, theoretically, the price would just keep going up. So I think just there's so many people that are having a microscope on these rarer items, causing it to go up for the most part. Some things are just like artificially going up because there's people out there manipulating. But yeah, I think that's how it is going right now.
I'm seeing all the. Oh, go ahead, Vert.
When you're buying products, do you like is your main goal to move it as quick as you can at another show, or are you buying some to move quick and like some to sit on and see if it goes up?
So I'm not like a real speculator. Like I'm buying it for it to go up, then I'll sell it. I'll just buy it to, even if I think it's going down, I'll buy it to flip it. But I have to take that risk to like flip it super, super fast. I'll give you an example. The prismatic, I believe it was either Espeon or Sylveon, but the Prismatic Evolutions SIR, when it came out, someone walked up to me with a 10. It was like as soon as it came out. And the comps at the time were like 1,600 or something. And I probably paid him like 12, 1,300, something like that. And then I flipped it super fast at that show for 1,400, which is still under comps, just to get like a really quick flip. Because I knew if I held onto it, it would just tank. And it did. It's probably under $1,000 now. I don't know, but it's for sure less than what it was. So a lot of the stuff I'll buy, well, pretty much everything I buy has a percentage margin increase to flip. I intend to flip it, whether or not it actually sells. Sometimes I'll lose money, sometimes I won't. Like sometimes I'll do that thing and it won't sell, and then I hold on to it for 2 shows and then I lose money on it. But that's just the risk I take. But the idea is to always try and flip it, unless it's for my personal collection, in which then I'm just keeping it whether it goes up. Like even if it doubles, I ain't selling it, or if it cuts in half.
When you're buying, and buying to flip, are you only taking in like super high end? Or are you just doing like singles, or are you just trying to cater, because you have such a big audience? Are you trying to cater to everybody, or kind of like separate niches?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to cater to everyone, because I realize, there's so many different ways you could go about it. You could do like modern only, PSA only, Japanese, poncho, high end. But because my booth is more of an experience at this point. Like people come just to do a deal. Like they don't even know what I have. They just want to do a deal. And I realize I'm kind of there to provide that service, like, hey, come do a deal with me. I try to have something for everyone. I will have partitioned out in all my cases. I got Japanese, I have vintage, I have a whole Charizard section. I'm not even a big Charizard fan, but I know other people are. I have modern, like my Grail hits, Gold Stars, Black Labels, like all the super expensive stuff. Then I have all the modern, like modern high end. So think like, Giratina, Lugia, Gengar, like the hits. Then I have like modern low end PS 10s, so like Trainer Gallery 10s. Yeah, just kind of the under 100-ish for people that think that are kind of on a budget but still want something. I used to do ungraded cards, but it's a little bit too much of a hassle these days. So I will take it in, but I don't really sell them anymore. And I have so much ungraded right now. It's like a whole mountain. I got a whole TCG list, and that thing has been plummeting. I've lost so much money on it. And I just every time I look at it, it just drops thousands of dollars. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I mean, I like I said, like I'm trying to, if this kid comes up to me with a binder and he wants to make a deal, I'm gonna try my best to make it happen.
I got a hot question for you, and feel free not to answer this one because I don't want to be pocket watching, but I think a lot of people would be curious on this, getting into the vending space. As somebody like you who draws a big crowd and you're vending all day, can you say like a relative number to the most money you've ever made just from vending in one day?
Sure. I honestly don't keep track, so I don't really know like the exact one. I would say my most, and a lot of these, like the example I'm going to give you, is not a regular. Like I'm cherry picking out because it's one giant deal that I did. So it kind of like it's not. So the only one I can think of is that Orlando, and Mystic asked me this question, but I was asked the same thing. I said it was about $100,000 in one show, and that was because one deal was 50 grand, which was half of it.
Jesus.
So, and it kind of, and that one I made a lot of money because I graded those myself.
Oh my god, nice.
The 50,000, 40 something thousand of it was the 2 black labels, and those black labels probably cost me like $3,000 or something,
Damn.
Wow.
What cards were they?
It was
You looking for a new hire?
Sorry?
Bring me onto the team, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. It's literally a once in the, because I hit the lottery on the black label, and then I sold it for, at the time, pretty much like, I mean, I don't think there was any solds, but I was like, hey, I'll take 20K for this card. And it was the black label shiny Rayquaza, so it was black on black. That was my favorite.
Oh,
and then the
nice.
other one, I think it was a Charizard, the orange Charizard, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I sold those both for 40. So that is like, technically I made a lot of money, but I'm never going to do that again. So it's not really accurate.
What is that? What's that feeling like though? Even if it's not going to happen again, it happened that time, like after you wrap up the show and everything, like what is your thought process? And are you calling somebody like, hey mom, we made it?
That one was, I think I was already excited when I got the card because I already knew I could sell it. So it was kind of like I already knew I made like, the excitement happened when I hit it. I was like, this is worth a lot of money. This is like a card. But like I already knew I would sell it. Not like for around how much. I was like, okay, it's at least worth more than 15K.
That's insane.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't have any more grading things like that. I haven't graded any black labels since, or with Beckett since. But there are times where I'll get like really good deals because the market's going good. Like I'll buy it, and then for some reason it jumps up, and it's like, hey, I just made extra money there. But yeah, there's nothing super crazy like that happens anymore.
Have you seen an impact on business since the market has gone up recently?
I would say it's a little it's a little unfair for me because I think I will have business no matter the market. So when it was a down market last year, I was still doing okay because of the position I'm in. So I don't think I have a good grasp on how the market affects like regular vendors, but to me it's the same. It's the same whether it's up or down because it's been nonstop deals. It's hard to tell if it's doing bad or not if the entire day I'm doing deals no matter what. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does it ever
but some stuff like because again I do based on percentages. So if Bubble Mew is $1,300 and I'm flipping them, and then the next month they're $700, they're lower, but I'm still just flipping them at the lower price. So it doesn't matter. So the market change doesn't really affect it. That would only affect it if you were doing like the buy to invest to speculate to sell later, which I don't do.
Was it like ever I don't know. Does it get stressful when you're buying these? Was there a change? Like you come in and you start vending. I'm sure you don't start off moving these insane black label type cards. So
Mhm.
like the first time you really start buying some of this expensive stuff, are you like that's a risk, right? Like, are you hitting panic mode?
Well, so for me, I'm not in panic mode because it's all gravy. You know what I mean? Those black labels, I
Yeah.
graded them, so it literally there's no pressure at all. Now, if I bought them to resell them, that'd be a huge difference. The only time I bought something that was like over $10,000 to resell was relatively recently. It was like the end of last year. So I already was comfortable. Like, even if it dropped, it ain't gonna change. And I made a YouTube video about it. The most iconic liquid cards of all time. There were Gold Stars Charizards, Crystal Charizards, Skyridge Umbreon, like all like, even if they didn't go up, I could at least get my money back on them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think is like, if I can get my money back, I'm willing to take the risk to try and make more money. So there's never really panic mode. I would say most of the time, the smaller stuff, like relatively smaller stuff that changes
Like
really
me.
fast, I'm on. I'm on panic mode. Like if a modern alt art is dropping and I have a bunch of it, that's more panic mode to me. Like I should probably sell these. I'm a little bit lazy, so sometimes I'll give you an example. The prismatic evolutions. That was the promo, the ETB promo Pokemon Center. I bought 30 of those PSA 10s, and at the time they were $700. And the guy was like, "Dude, please buy these for me. I will give you such a good deal." And I think I paid like $400 each. I was like, "Sure, I guess I'll take them all." And I knew I had to sell them because they're gonna drop, but I didn't because I'm lazy. And now I still probably have a good amount of them, and they're like 300, 350 maybe. So I lost money on every single one just because I'm a tad lazy on that end. But
Yeah.
little tangent.
Little off topic little question here, but do you consume Pokemon content? And if so, do you have favorite Pokemon content creators?
I actually don't. I don't watch vendor POVs because I can't stand it anymore. After all,
You have enough of it.
I live and breathe it in person.
Yeah.
So I've never watched other vendor POVs. I used to watch. I was never a big like opening guy either. Like, because I don't open packs myself, and I don't care about new sets. So I never watched the new set stuff. I don't really keep up to date with I'm like an old man, honestly, in Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only time that I ever watched like an opening video is if it's a crazy, like it's a Skyridge box or like a first edition. I'd be like, that's probably interesting. We'll see that. But I used to watch a lot of like Twice Baked Jake when he would do like the Japanese promos or something, like cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd watched PokeRev when he was doing his crazy boxes. But there's not I don't really think there's like a type of Pokemon. I think the ones I like the most are the video game ones. So there's like, I don't even know how to play
Those are always
the
fun.
games, but it's like the interesting facts or like Wolfie something, but he'll do like, I beat the tournament with like one Pokemon, or it's like just crazy, like history of it. I like watching those, but in the terms of the card stuff, no, not really. I don't really watch much.
What's your favorite part about vending? Is it the business? Is it the negotiating? Is it with this newfound viewership? Is it like getting to meet all the people who are super excited to meet you? And I know there's probably not like one correct answer, but like, what's that one thing that really makes you like nerd out?
Yeah, I would say kind of most of them I like cycling through because it keeps it fresh. So like, I really like buying stuff. Obviously, who doesn't like buying stuff?
Yeah.
So the fact that I can turn that into content and like kind of make it informational and all of that. So I've been like I said, I've been recently trying to like pick up stuff, even if I'm paying market, over market, whatever. I think it's just super fun to buy things, and that gives me a break from all the selling that I've been doing, which I enjoy. Because you get to help people make their collections. There's like, oh, I needed that for my thing. I'm like, hey, I got it for you. Here you go. I'll help you finish your collection. Of course, the YouTuber thing. I mean, I'm a little bit of a younger guy. So my dream job when I was a kid was literally a YouTuber. So I'm living my dream over here.
That's
so no
awesome.
complaints
Freaking
on
awesome,
that.
man. Congratulations.
Thank you. So I would say like the whole thing is great. Little bit blessed in the position I'm in. So I can't complain about it at all. It's kind of like now I'm at a part where I can choose to do whatever I want to do. So I could do my own card show. I can open up my own card shop. I could still do what I'm doing. I could, I don't know. There's just like literally so many things I could do. I could do whatever I want. And it's just try to grow on all facets. So I'm trying to do like everything I want slowly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you could even like funnel your views into a secondary channel at this point. We see a lot of people do
I
that.
could do rip and shit. Well, I mean, I kind of do, but I could do like, I could do anything. And
Is
maybe
that
a portion of
almost
my thing would follow me.
is that almost like stressful of like what's the right thing to really attack next? Because it's like let's take another YouTube channel for example. That's a lot of work if you're really going to attack that, or opening up a brick and mortar store would be a ton of work as well. Are you like sitting there thinking right now, like, hey, I have this prime opportunity in my hands. Which lane do I go with?
I guess, I'm a little stuck because I think they're all great and I could do great in every single one. And I would want to do every single one, which is why it's not like I can take like nothing is like you have to do it now or you'll fail, or like if you do this you can't do that. So I'm it is like I'm struggling to figure out what I should do. That's why I'm like right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stay doing all the shows. I got like 3 months straight every weekend shows coming up soon in the summer.
Nice.
I love doing that. So it's not that's a good question. I would say it is hard to choose, but there's no pressure to choose. So that's not the, now I would be pressured if it was like, let's say money was tight and I needed if I don't do the right decision, I'm out on the street, then I'd be a little bit more stressed. But it's more of like picking your favorite restaurant out of a bunch of good options instead of like I'm starving and I need to go pick the right one or I'll die kind of thing.
What if you could only keep one between vending or YouTube? I know they go hand in hand, so that's not like a reality question. But
go hand in hand.
If like, what do you enjoy?
I enjoy the status of YouTube. I don't quite enjoy making. I enjoy making good content, but I don't necessarily enjoy the process of it. So I like having the ideas of like videos, like, oh, that's such a good video, but then you have to like edit it and like do it all that. So I like the process and the result, but not like the hard work of the YouTube. The vending, the hard work is buying and selling and like going to the shows, and I enjoy like all aspects of it. So I would say like for a job, I really enjoy the vending side more. And I think if I like, let's say I had to be a YouTuber without vending, I think it'd be a lot harder for me. Whereas I could still be a vendor without the YouTube, without like, I wouldn't obviously be as successful, but I was making it work before. I could still make it work out. So I think I would still, I mean, YouTube's probably still the better option, but yeah.
Have you made any moves to attack any of those other ventures, like your own card show or card store?
I tried a little bit, but the problem with that one was that it's so cutthroat, not even cutthroat, but it's so packed, my schedule. So if I have a show and I want to like have my vendor buddies come be at my show, it can't be at the same time as another big show. One, I'll be there, and two, so will they. So you have to find like the perfect date and venue to make sure you don't clash. And I haven't been able to find that yet because they're so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's so booked up over the summer.
Yeah. Well, not even the summer, just in general.
Just
like,
all the time.
Think how many shows I do. It's like it's worse than a coin flip that something's free. And then if it's even free, I probably have something that day anyways. It just wasn't planned. So it's just with my schedule, it's a little bit harder to do. So I was thinking of partnering with someone. I don't know if anyone's listening. You run a card show locally, Houston. So that would be something I would be open to. But I have like a whole vision for it. It'd be so cool. I'd make a really good card show.
Deep Pocket Monster's writing notes right now.
I know Pat partners with someone. I've actually talked with him. He does his own Texas card shows, so maybe I'll reach out with him. I haven't talked to him about doing one. But
I'm honestly surprised that I feel like it's not going to be long till Card Party comes to Texas.
Probably not. Every single card show I don't know any card show that's doing bad right now. Every single card show I've ever done or seen has. Well, I take it back. I think TCG Con went bankrupt, but other than that, because they bit off way more than it could chew. Every other show, like even the smallest ones, I just went to a local one in Houston that I used to go to when I first started out, and they were super, super small. Now it was packed to the brim, and it was a little bit of a larger venue. And then now next year, they're going to do George R. Brown in Houston, which is like the really big one. So they kind of like scaled it up. Front Rows, the same thing. I think they did like 3 or 4 card shows. Now they probably do 20. Wow. Even Collecticon, when I first started, there was like 5 shows a year. Now there's 20, 18, something like that. They just like keep adding. Unreal. Yeah, so every single show is just more popular right now.
How often are you traveling to go to all these shows?
I think the longest break I've gotten is 3 weeks off. Oh, man. And then up like now, starting in after Card Party at the end of the month, it'll be pretty sure every single weekend I'll be at somewhere for like 2.5 months. It'll be insane. Oh, and I don't really like traveling. I don't like traveling at all, but I signed up for the job, so it's kind of what I got to do.
Are you going to be at Card Party Seattle?
I'll be at both card parties. I'll be missing one of the Collecticons for Card Party in Tampa. Everyone's been asking me for it. It's the Cleveland one. I was a little excited to go because it's the first time there, but I'd rather go to Card Party. So,
yeah, Tampa, Cleveland.
You ever get nervous traveling with that amount of money of like cards and stuff?
I do, because I have intrusive thoughts like, I don't know, what if someone pulls up to me with a gun and just like, whoa, dude.
I was just thinking more about like losing it on the airplaners.
Well, I would never lose it. So the only fear I have is literally someone coming up with like a blicky and just like, I'm
just getting Swiss cheese.
Yeah, I get turned into Swiss cheese. That would probably be like the only fear. And sometimes I travel with my mom. Sometimes it's Michelle, my fiance. Sometimes my brother. And it's just like, what if we all just get Swiss cheese? So like straight up, someone pulls up at the hotel, or I'm like, dude, I do think about that, but like, I mean, you kind of gotta have a little bit of faith in humanity at this point, because otherwise I can never leave the house.
TheBulbaStore is never coming to Atlanta Collecticon.
That's dude, my mom's favorite because she has family there, so she comes.
I'm like 20 minutes from that spot.
Nice.
Bro, we went to this is really off topic, but we went to Atlanta for my it was like my birthday one time, and we walked outside. Very nice area of Atlanta, and we thought fireworks were going off. And yeah, well, 10 minutes later, we got the news. So
you knew BulbaStore was in there with the whole collection.
I'll be on the next news thing. But I'm not really worried about like theft in terms of like, oh no, I lost my suitcase. That'll never happen. Like if I'm gonna get robbed if it happens.
Yeah. What about like if you went on a trip and you accidentally forgot your key to the
Oh my God.
Elliot, what happened with that?
Yeah, so I was going to vend for the first time at the Long Island TCG show, and I had my like big box, my cards, like packed to the brim, graded stuff, ungraded, and I was like, okay, only thing I cannot forget are my keys, because if the security takes this, they're gonna have to like cut it open or something, and I don't want them to like mess with the cards or whatever. So I'm going through security. I put my case down, and the security takes it, and they're trying to inspect it. I'm looking everywhere for my keys, and of course, It was like the one thing I couldn't forget, I forgot. So they had to get the bolt cutters open, and they were actually interested in the ungraded cards, which is weird, but that sketched me out because they were like thumbing through it like it was nothing. I was like, don't bend that in half. I need to make some money here.
That is crazy. I like TSA.
Yeah.
That is so. Out of all the traveling I've ever done, no one has. I've been taken a couple of times to like the whose bag is this, and they open it and then they look, they're like cool, and then they go. But it was, I think it's usually because in the case I carry, it's like a gun case, so people think they're
okay.
Guns.
Yeah.
And then when they see it, they're like, oh, it's Pokemon cards. But I've never had them. You locked. You like that was the only way to lock it is with the keys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Usually it's like the numbers.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a good case. It's not the best case, but it's a little master lock on there.
Keep up your game, Elliot.
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can think of this off the top of the head, but do you have any memory that just comes to mind of like a funny thing that happened while you were vending?
I mean, a lot of times people will come up, like, I guess the first one that popped into my mind, this guy came up to me and was like, I have a card that you've never seen before. I can guarantee it. I'm like, sure, I'd be happy to look. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, all right, we might have a grail on our hands. What are we looking at here? Like, this would be a crazy thumbnail if it's super cool. And I usually have that thought a lot because you never know what someone can bring. People bring cool stuff all the time. So it's usually like, oh, what am I going to see today? And it was just I have it. I have to go find it in one of the boxes. But it was a custom card basically of just me doing a deal. It said like the BulbaStore.
Oh, really?
Gave it to me. So I was like, oh, thank you. It was super cool. But in my head, I was like, oh, I was giving it out. But nothing like crazy funny or anything like that.
Have you had
what's the craziest thing that's came to the table?
Me.
Craziest thing, I think. Okay,
Yeah,
so
probably.
a long time ago, someone brought by this. Honestly, I don't even know what it is called, but it's like one of those Japanese promos that looks kind of bland, but it's worth like 6 figures.
Is it like one of the drawing contest ones or something?
No. It's like it was not even Pokemon. It was like a medal or something, like something not the scroll or a key, but it's like an object. Something, and it was like a random. It was like a BGS 7 or something. I was like, oh, what is that? And he's like, yeah, this card's like $100,000. I'm like, what? That's crazy.
For the 7 is crazy.
Yeah, people would bring, and I was like, other vendors will try to bring me their stuff, which kind of like cheat codes because they're just trying to offload it. But that was probably the craziest like a non-vendor has brought to me in terms of value. Yeah, that I can think of.
Have you had anybody? I've been seeing like a lot of videos of the vending and people stealing. Have you had anybody?
So when I vended, but I didn't record in Dallas, I actually did get a Venusaur EX Fire Red Leaf Green PSA 10 stolen from me. At the time, it was like I cope and say it was $800 because that's what I paid for it, but it was like $1,000 card, and that got stolen. Man. And I ended up finding it at another booth at another show later. But what am I going to do? Like, hey, this is mine. Can I have it back? So I was just like, well, at least I know it's there. Well, I saw it, but
do you think that vendor took it, or do you think that vendor?
No, I know who took it. It was like this couple at the end. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. I had too much faith in humanity.
Yeah, that sucks.
Nah, it was just a learning experience. I think that was my first time vending at a Collecticon, honestly, because I went to Orlando Collecticon as a buyer, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. So I'm pretty sure the next show was Dallas. I could be wrong though. So that was like my learning experience. And then there was my friend Genny. He was probably like, everyone's kind of seen it. It went a little viral of like, oh, this is my stolen. It was like the first kind of video. And ever since then, my mom was like, I wish they steal it so we could get like a clip of it going viral. Because that'd be pretty cool. Like if you saw my video and someone stole, maybe not now anymore, but at the time it'd be like, what? Someone stole from the BulbaStore. That's crazy. Click. That'd be a good video. So Yeah, you might have like lost something, but it would be entertaining. So there was a point in time where I had a suspicion that maybe these guys stole something just because I used to have binders. So when I was looking through the footage, I couldn't find my mom was like, I'm pretty sure I saw these guys like take something. I was like, okay, I'll look. But I couldn't even find who she was talking about. So I probably didn't even have the cameras rolling. But you know, I was kind of hoping to find a theft in there. That'd have been good content.
Is there some kind of safety or security for you guys at the shows? Like not directly with you, but is there something in place to thwart people stealing?
Not in terms of like what you've seen where people can take it. There's like checkpoints for guns, so there's no like armed robberies, but there's nothing you can do from a guy swiping.
What was the thought like how did you come up with the name BulbaStore?
Honestly, it was quite simple. Favorite Pokemon, BulbaStore. I was like, all right, if I gotta come up with my name, it's gotta be cool. And so I like having like a name that's memorable or like easy to remember. So my options and I wanted Bulbasaur for sure because I just had to make it work. So my options were Bulbathor. I'm not even that big of a Thor. I literally just the only things that worked that would even be like, oh, I remember that guy was Bulbathor, BulbaStore, and the Bulba Core, like corporation, or core like core cadets. I was like, okay, so I was really between the Bulba Core or the Bulba Store, and I was like, well, Bulba Store just makes absolutely more sense, so I went with that, and that's kind of just how I walked.
That'd be great for a brick and mortar as well.
Yeah, and I had to make sure everything was available too. You know,
how about the shirts
forms and all that?
How did the shirts come to be?
The shirts were serendipitous because I wore them. It's for myself because like I said, big Bulbasaur guy. But where could I even wear those normally? It's a big bright green Pokemon shirt. So it was only at the shows, and then people kept asking me if I would sell it, and I said no, I don't. And then the next show, do you sell it? No, I don't. So I was like, all right, I should start selling them. And then I at the very beginning, I brought like maybe 10 of like the most basic sizes. And then every single show, like a bigger and bigger person would come and they would ask them, I don't have it. So now I go all the way up to 5X because that's literally the largest they make. I go from kids, because people wanted kid shirts, all the way to 5XL. And that's just, it kind of just grew into that.
2023 me with...
I didn't plan on it. It was people were like, dude, that is genius. I'm like, yes, it is. But in hindsight, it is a good idea. Like you go to CollectCon, you'll see everything. You got Waka Flocka, he wears them. But it's just like not iconic, but like recognizable. Like, oh, it's a Bulbasaur shirt.
It is almost
any
iconic.
Other Pokemon or just Bulbasaur?
I do the starters. All 3 starters.
Nice.
I saw the shirts like all around these conventions before I think we had ever met. And then once I met you, I was like, oh my God, this guy's making those shirts too?
Yeah, it was actually it was funny at Card Party. I was set up last year. I was set up outside of the like I got the vendor, not the vendor, like the sponsor table thingy. So it's kind of on the outside. So before it opened, I was able to set up before it opened and after it closed. And people were, I have to like wait in line to get into the stage area. People didn't even people saw other people buy the shirts and came up, be like, I'll take a shirt. So I see everyone with these. I'll take a shirt. I'm like, cool.
That's crazy.
My mom was calling it like a little FOMO action. People just kind of saw it and wanted to join in.
Yep.
Because if you see like in the audience and stuff, like every row, there is at least one shirt.
I
like,
bro, I want to join in. I need a Bulbasaur shirt.
Yeah,
I know.
Got the
Same.
FOMO.
I sell out every single show. I have sold out so much. I wouldn't break we have Dallas upcoming this weekend. I don't have any shirts to sell. Like I sold out. And with all the tariff stuff going on, I can't get any more.
That's insane.
Are you gonna have them for Card Party?
I try. I sure hope so. That one, Card Party last year was the most, I because it's 3 days, because it's a little bit more. That was the first and only. I shipped extra because usually we just bring like suitcases and we'll bring like 6 suitcases total. This is like I actually shipped 2 extra boxes and we still sold out. And that was last year. So I could only imagine this year. I sure hope we sell them. That'd be cool.
That's awesome.
But it's like, if I'm a very laissez-faire, like, hey, if I can't control it, I can't control it.
Right.
Is what it is. How the cookie crumbles.
Do you have a big end goal with all this?
I don't know, really. My end goal is like if I won the lottery and I had $100 million, I'd probably do the exact same thing, like day to day.
Dude, that's awesome.
I doubt my life would change, but I probably like would fly private, and my inventory was so crazy. Maybe I got a whole booth. Yeah, if someone comes up wanting to do like the super expensive, I would be like, sure, if I lose, whatever. And I would do. I wanted to do a lot of content wise. I would say I want to make unique content. So there's so many videos. I have like so many videos in my to-do list, but I'm just so behind. Like when I hit 100K, I wanted to open 10 Mario boxes and then try. There's no Black Label that exists, so I wanted to try and get it.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you guys watch Counter-Strike, like CS:GO, but there are videos out there where they're basically trying to get like the world's first or like the world's best, kind of stuff like that. I think those are very interesting videos. So similar to, the poncho video did super well, where I like graded all the ponchos. So I kind of want to do videos that not everyone can do, that kind of not like Mr. Beast type, but like because the budget of it is so insanely high, you can only watch someone else do it, and it'd be like entertaining to see results. So I think I'm trying now. So when I make more money, I can do those crazy videos. And then, I opened 100. I was going to do 100 Van Gogh Pikachus, send them off to grading, but I ended up just buying. There was a guy who had ungraded and then already graded PSA 10s. But I ended up just buying all the PSA 10s he had. It was redundant to buy the things, but I was like, oh, I could make this video where I graded them all. That'd be cool. So I think that's my end game, is just to do the exact same thing, but just juiced up on another level.
That's actually super sick.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I love it.
With the coin flip thing taken off, it's like people are addicted to this sense of gambling. Do you want to do anything more at your booth with that?
I like Vegas. I'm a little bit of a gambler myself, but contrary to popular belief, I don't suggest most of the. I have never suggested any big coin flip ever. And I use coin flips as a negotiating tactic, where if I lose, I'd still all right. Like 99% of the time, unless it's a double or nothing, I'm already mentally okay with losing. If I win, it's just gravy. It's just like a little extra something. And most of the times, people, like I said, I'm providing an experience for these people now. People are like, oh, I waited in line. I want to do a coin flip with you. Sure, we'll do whatever coin flip you want. It's not that I want to per se, but I know they want to. So who am I to deny them? The only time is like when they're really crazy. I'm like, oh, like when we did the crazy double or nothings, like I really don't want to do it because it's just risk. But it's fun to watch. And I know that. So I was like, win or lose. If I win, great. If I lose, it sucks. But at least I'll get a clip, a video, a thumbnail out of it. So that's kind of how I think. And that's kind of why the YouTuber content side of thing kind of changes how I do business, because that's not necessarily how I would roll if the cameras were like I don't do coin flips if the cameras aren't rolling, if they're huge.
Yeah, so the content is the justification for
I do for content
doing that.
And some people don't like it, and people say like, this is I'll get comments every now and then like, this is a gambling channel. But in my opinion, my honest opinion, a coin flip is literally better than opening a Pokemon pack, because 50-50 is way better than like 1 in 300.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like if you open Pokemon packs and you enjoy it, you are a gambler, and it is worth. It's like slots. Pokemon packs are like slots, and coin flips are like blackjack. It's objectively better if you're going to gamble or whatever.
Has anyone ever backed out after losing the coin flip?
Ooh.
The first time it happened was recently, and it was like a super small one. I don't even remember what it was, but he lost and he didn't have like a payment method. And I was like,
No.
what am I gonna do? Call the cops on him? It was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even think it was maybe $50 or like $100 or
Okay.
something, whatever. I have had some people win. I don't even know some people. I only remember one, but one person won and he couldn't pay. I was like, oh no. And it was also small. That one is also like under $100. But I was like, hey, I mean, if you can't pay for it, you can't pay for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What was
What are
the
you, like-
first?
Go
What
ahead,
was your
Listen.
first moment where you were like, "I've made it in this space"?
dude, when I hit 10K, I was like, woo. But I would say, well, yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know because made it. Maybe when I first got recognized outside of a show, be like, oh, you're the BulbaStore. It was locally I used to live in a smaller town in College Station. It's like a college town. And I was walking around Costco in regular like Crocs t-shirt, and then this couple was staring at me. I was like, huh. And they go, dude, I love your videos. I'm like, what? How do you know who
That's
I
really
am?
cool.
I don't remember how big I was at the time, but that was the first time I'll probably forever remember it. I'm like, that's crazy. Michelle's with me too. They're like, how did they recognize me? And the thing, and then like, it kind of grows from there. Like you'll be at a restaurant or something, or just walking at the airport, or just being recognized. I would say is probably the coolest ego boosting. Like it makes your day, when you're when you like get recognized. It's like, oh, cool, yeah, thanks for watching, man.
To boost
I'd say
your
that's
ego
probably
a
why I
little
say
more.
I made it. Makes me feel cool.
I went to Walmart the other day and met this guy who just got into the space, and I was asking him if he watches any YouTube content and stuff. And he was like, not much, but I've recently been watching the vending stuff. And I was like, we had just set this up with you, and I was like, you ever heard of the BulbaStore? And he was like, oh, I love that guy. And so it's cool to see that even these brand new people in the space are like, they like what you do. Like he was talking to me about it. He's like, I love watching the deals go down.
Yeah, that's cool. There was I'll say another one. It was it was earlier this year. I was at a Target, the Pokemon section, because Michelle likes going to Target. I don't care about anything at Target besides Pokemon. I go there. I'm like, oh, what's the new set? Like, what can the regular Joe Schmo go and buy on the retail? I'm just standing there, and this guy goes, no way! Oh my god! I'm like, I look, and he's just staring at there, and he just comes up to me, dude, are you saying? Did you want to like go on pictures and was talking like I was not expecting this at all? Like I'm telling, like those are the best. It just makes you feel good inside. That's probably it's probably the best. It's that one's like when I know I made it in terms of like content creator. I would say I know I made it financially. But my goal was to make like 50K as a job, because I went straight from college. I've never had a real job, like a 9 to 5 or real one after college. So my goal was like, all right, if I do this full time, I'm out of college, I'm doing what I like, if I can make like 50K a year, that'd be cool. But then, all of a sudden I did the poncho deal. That one kind of made like, when I did that was kind of towards the beginning, because that was I want to say that was my first year vending. I'm not quite sure on the timeline on that, but it was a little earlier on, if I'm not mistaken. So then I was like, dude, I'm set for the year. Basically, that was like my mindset. I'm like, oh, I'm set. That was kind of when I graded it. I'm like, okay, now I'm out. I got that money thing was off my back after that one.
Yeah.
And then now it's better.
That's awesome.
What are you like outside of the world of doing work and business and Pokemon? Like, what do you enjoy doing? And then also how you're saying, like, you're doing okay financially. Do you ever, spoil on yourself a little?
Sure. Oh, that's a good question. Most people don't even ask that. But outside, it's a little surprising. I'm maybe to some people, I'm like super introverted. I just happen to be able to turn it on. Like I force myself to put myself out there and be a little bit more charismatic. But inside, I'm just like, dude, I want to stay at home and relax. all the time. I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
My ideal day is just chilling at home, playing video games. I don't play games as much as I used to because I'll spend like the time. My day is not hard, but it's a little time consuming, I should say. Like I got to respond to messages. I pack orders myself for like shirts, online shirts. If I ever do like a stream or a claim sale or anything, I ship all that. I'm always emailing, DMing people for new deals. So it's not like hard work, but you're just like a lot of, hey, texting and working out deals for the business, sponsorships, making new videos, occasional editing. I still do like the final editing for our videos and all that. Kind of working on like the displays. I sell the displays. That's something I make in my garage. So day to day, I would say I'm a pretty homey kind of guy. If I have the spare time, I'll try and play games of choice, League of Legends, a little bit of StarCraft, just like stuff that I can sit down and play and then leave after I'm done. And what was the other question? Something about
You spend on yourself?
oh, spend on myself. I would say, very financially literate, I suppose. I very rarely spend money on stuff that loses money. So I don't buy like designer jeans, or I'll buy stuff for like Michelle that she wants like a Labubu, you know what I mean? But for myself, I always think if I can get my money back. So I have no problem spending 10K on a card because I know I can at least get my money back from it. But if I spend 10K on Gucci clothes, I'm not getting my money back. Or like jewelry or something, like a Rolex.
You don't think I could flip a Balenciaga bag?
Fanny pack, not bag, fanny pack.
With his Labubu strapped to it.
I think it's okay to reward yourself if you truly like it. Like there's a David Yurman pendant I've always wanted since I've seen it in college. I could easily afford it, but I've never bought it because I know like I'm just flushing down money down the drain. So I will very rarely splurge on something I can't get my money back out of. I much prefer to buy stuff that makes me more money.
Is your fiance the opposite?
No, honestly, she's pretty. I mean, she's not. She's not bad or good. Like she doesn't buy stuff that makes her money, but she doesn't really waste money. She'll buy like she's a girl. She'll buy some clothes, whatever she's seeing on TikTok. But it's not like she's spending racks on designer, whatever. Like she'll buy Target.
Yeah,
the classic stuff. I would say for me, like, because I think vacations are like super, super expensive, but because we travel, we kind of like make a vacation out of the shows.
Oh, nice.
Like business expense right there. So we don't have to like spend money on traveling. I don't even like traveling that much. So I really like almost all the money goes straight into making more money or some kind of like business venture. Something like that.
Dude, that's so interesting.
That's awesome.
Well, it's boring. You know what I mean? Like a lot of my friends I'm like, oh gosh, how could you spend that much on that? And it's what they like. I think it's just different strokes for different folks. I just like personally, it would eat away at me knowing like, oh, I spent that much money. But I know you should enjoy it. Like the whole point of the money is to enjoy it. But I think it's like I can kill two birds with one stone. Like most people would love to buy a $10,000 Pokemon card. I do enjoy that. So I'm buying something I enjoy and making money with it, or at least get my money back. But yeah. That's
so like you said earlier, if you hit the lottery, you might do a couple more crazy coin flips or something.
Yeah.
But being not a big spender, if you actually hit the lottery for like $100 million, would you buy yourself a supercar, or you're still the same mindset of like only buying things that make me money?
You know what's funny? I could buy like really nice cars, right? I bought myself a new car and I love it to pieces. You want to guess what it is?
Bro, if you say a Prius.
No. I'm actually not even a car guy. So even if you name a model, I'd be like, I don't even know what it is. I bought a Honda Odyssey, like a minivan. And that thing is sick. The doors automatic. I get it. I got all the packages I want in there. It's it's auto start. So like it's hot here in Texas. That thing is already ice cold when I walk in the thing. I can't even remember the last time I opened the door or the trunk to
Dude, that's
put stuff
awesome.
in there. I think that thing's amazing to me. And we have a
That's
dog
sweet.
for my dog. And we
Nice.
because it's so big, you have like the middle area. So I built like a bed for him and everything. Perfect car for me. So yeah, I think I'd buy a supercar just to I'm not too into cars, but whenever the only one I can think of is when I was a kid, Transformers. There was a bad guy, and I forgot the name, but it was a gray Lamborghini Aventador. And ever since then, that's just my go-to. That's the only one I kind of know, and I think it looks cool. So that's my. I don't know how much it costs, but that's probably my supercar of choice.
Yeah,
I like it.
it's a badass car.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't think even if I won it, I would feel so bad. I'm like, but if you won $100 million at that point, it doesn't even matter.
Have you always? Well, two questions. Can I ask how old you are, and then on top of that, have you always had this mindset, or did that come with getting like maturing?
Sure. No, I'm 20. I just turned 25 a couple weeks ago.
Holy
I've always
shit.
been.
Dude,
That's why I
congratulations!
say I'm a little on the young. I mean, I've met people that are younger than me that are doing this too.
I gotta get my shit together.
But I would say I'm still on the. I mean, 25. I don't think I'm in my head. I still think I'm a kid, but I think 25 is like a adult, even though I'm a Pokemon seller. So I think I'm kind of becoming an adult probably not maturity wise. I'll always be a kid in my eyes, but number wise, it's like, dude, 25 is old. But anyways, I've always been like I said, I was
36. Why'd you have to say that?
Back in my day.
Maybe it's just because I think I look a lot older too. Like most people think I'm like 33.
I think it's the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
I think I just look older, but maybe that too. I'm a tad bit mature. The financially, I've always known I wanted to be an entrepreneur and business. I've never wanted to work. And I told my parents, not going to go to college, but they were like, please go to college. We'll pay for it. I said, sure, I'll start my business after college. So I did get a degree in economics, and I don't use it for anything, nor do I remember anything from college. But when I was a kid, I had a business. I would say my first business ever was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Reselling in elementary school. Well, technically, I sold Beyblades. And if y'all know what those are, Beyblades was my first business. I would go to like Toys R Us. I would make like really good setups, and then I would sell them. And then the kids who couldn't, they have to they can't go buy the toys, so they got to buy it from me at school. And then same with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I would go to my local card shop. At the time, I don't even know TCG Player or nothing. I would just buy a card and then double the price, and then they would just eat it up because I would just buy cool looking cards. And that's how I saved up my first $1,000 there, and I bought myself a Razer laptop. And I was playing. I was like, "Oh, dude, this Dylan's so cool!" And I was like, "Yeah, I just got my own business thing going on." I made a lot of money digitally, buying. I've always liked playing video games where you can buy and sell stuff. So Counter-Strike, there's skins, digital virtual skins, and gambling, which was really big at the time. So I guess that's kind of what got me into gambling. But that's also how I made a lot of money. Just I would spend my free time after school just buying and selling and making money. So I kind of learned how the whole buying and selling thing. That's just my life growing up. Again, Pawn Stars. So I've always been very money focused, which is a good and bad thing. I would say I'm kind of stingy now, but yeah,
super interesting. Elliot, Misty, do y'all have the member questions pulled up? I think we had 2 or 3 member questions for you that people wanted to ask you.
Elliot, you want to?
Yeah, I got it.
Take one or take them both.
Yeah.
There's 2.
I can just grab one. You get the other.
Okay.
All right. So we got Pokey Salem says, what your dream Bulbasaur would be in a Beckett Black label.
Ooh. So I mean I guess if the answer was to resell, an easy question. Snap Bulbasaur, that thing would be worth so much money. But my favorite Bulbasaur is the Fire Red Leaf Green number 54 reverse, the one holding an apple. That one's like that one's my all-time favorite, just because of like I grew up playing Leaf Green and Sapphire. Leaf Green is kind of like the whole reason why I like Bulbasaur and all that. So from that set, it's cool art to me. It's low pop in a PSA 10, so it's like rare. So I would say if I could have any Bulbasaur, it would be that one. I do think the Stellar Crown one though is like objectively the best looking. So I'd try to collect that one too.
Nice.
But Black Label for sure would value Snap because of the value, and then like actual would be the Fire Red Leaf Green one. That's my favorite.
Nice. So we got one more from Tothet, I think is how you pronounce it. He wants to know your earliest memory of Pokemon, like the cards, the games, TV show.
Earliest memory? I mean, I grew up in kindergarten. Was probably the earliest I remember ever owning it. I had like a friend group. When I was in kindergarten, I hung out with a fourth grader, a fifth grader, sixth grader, seventh, and an eighth grader. And then there was kindergartner. And we all had the same hobbies of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Beyblade, and Bionicles. So Pokemon was them. And we would do everything after school. We would just because it was like one of those daycare things, and they just throw everyone in there. So we would just be cutting it up. I don't even know why they hung out. Looking back, it's kind of weird hanging out with the kindergartners if you're in 8th grade. I was literally invited to his birthday party. So I was cool. But the earliest, I to this day, I don't know how to play the card game. I remember playing the game. So because I played the game a lot, I was like, I want to collect the cards, I guess. And I guess because my friends were also doing it too, I kind of bought some packs. But I just remember owning them. I don't think I have any memories. I mean, of the game. I always played the game a lot on the Game Boy. I'm trying to remember like card game. The earliest. I don't remember. There's like people that, I pulled the first edition Zard back in the day. I traded it for like a bag of chips. Like I don't remember pulling anything crazy. I didn't even know Gold Star because I grew up in like EX era, so I didn't even know Gold Stars were a thing, which are like the hits back then. I remember having some EXs, but I'm pretty sure those are probably because they came from like the tin promo. So I was not that big on Pokemon cards as a kid. I just bought like the occasional tin. I was more Yu-Gi-Oh! So if I had the option, I'd buy Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead of Pokemon. So yeah, I guess that kind of answers the question, but not much that I remember.
Nice.
Another thing we like to ask all of our guests is, do you have any questions for us?
Yes, sure. How about, would you rather be a successful YouTuber individually, or would you rather have a really popular podcast together?
God damn.
Ooh, that's a
It's a
good
good
one.
ass question.
Yeah.
Off the dome.
Well, I feel like I'm going to be a dick if I don't pick the right answer.
I actually do think I would go with the podcast. I really enjoy like having because my husband, he's not here right now, but I really enjoy having our own channel. But I think getting to hang out with these guys all the time and just talking about Pokemon, really just anything in general, is just really fun. So I feel like I would long term, if one had to go, I would rather stay with the pod.
Damn, Missy. Real fucking shit. I'm not
Really?
even gonna.
Anyways, I'm going solo.
Yeah, first is like, I'm out of here. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Full transparency, I was gonna pick solo because my dream has also always been YouTube since I was in high school. Never want to do 9 to 5 anything.
Yep.
Got super depressed about like thinking about going into the workforce forever, and so I was thinking solo. But then the way Missy described it, yeah, like I enjoy this now more than I probably do on my channel lately because we literally like we're getting some sponsors and stuff and like getting to talk to really cool people like yourself while we're just having fun conversations. So I'll go pod.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
Mr.
Well,
BulbaStore,
Elliot-
where can they find you?
It's just the BulbaStore on everything: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I don't even remember the last time I logged in on TikTok, probably a year ago. But people still you're like, hey, I see you all the time on TikTok. I'm like, really? I
Nice.
have not posted there in like a year. But yeah, just the BulbaStore everywhere. Got a website, bulbastore.com, for the shirts. And shows. I have the show schedule on there and on Instagram, so might see me in person. But yeah.
Nice, bro.
Nice.
Well, thank you so much, man, for coming on. It's absolute pleasure to talk to you. It's so cool to see what you're doing, especially at the age of 25. I'm sure you're a huge inspiration to a lot of people on YouTube, and you really like created this new space in the hobby with the whole vending scene. So really dope to talk to you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for
Yeah,
having me.
thank you for
Appreciate
coming on.
that.
And go download Collector. We love Collector.
Get no fucks, yeah. Get no fucks, yeah. Yeah.